Effective with Ina Esco is an interview-style podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, and entertainment with a Memphis focus. Each week, I'm joined by a featured guest with roots in Memphis. Verbally Effective delves into each guest's personal journey to uncover the incredible stories fueling their purpose, the highs and lows of their pursuits, and how through their passion, they are moving the culture forward. Greetings, and welcome to another edition of the Verbally Effective Podcast right here live on WYXR, Raised by Sound, 91.7 FM Memphis. Hey, it's your double E, Ina Esco. And check it out, we are getting ready for the Raised by Sound Fest this weekend here at Crosstown Concourse. You can get more info right now at raisedbysoundfest.com. But we're going to get into some things because this is a live verbally effective podcast, the podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, entertainment with a Memphis focus. And I got one of my good friends here in the building with me. He is all things fitness. He is all things Thrive Tribe podcast. And he knows a little something about astrology as well. And as you guys know, I love me some astrology. So we're going to get into all those things today. I have with me none other than the Jarvis Hall. What's up, Jarvo? Astro Jarvo.
What's up? Astro Jarvo in this joint. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm feeling great. This is a great day. Great Tuesday.
Yes, you look great.
Thank you.
Look all fit and fit. Baby, I'm trying to be fit like you. Okay.
Come on. I got you.
Because we are in the age of Aquarius. That's going to be a running theme today.
Mm-hmm.
And that means collaboration. That means reset. That means
teamwork.
Let's get it together, right?
Yes, all things that.
Okay, so we're going to jump into that a little later on the pod. But let's start off from the beginning. Jarvis Hall, where are you from? What part of Memphis?
So I'm from South Memphis.
South
Yeah,
Memphis.
so, but I always have to go back and say I was born in Mississippi.
What part?
Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Okay,
so
I know
that's
about Clarksdale.
Yes, in the Delta. So
Yes.
my family is from the Cleveland area.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved here when I was about 4.
Okay.
And so we moved to South Memphis. So I grew up, went to Lauderdale Elementary. It was Walker Elementary first, and it turned to Lauderdale. So I went to that. Then, it's a Memphis thing to really switch schools.
Yes.
So people like, I transferred here, and then we
Right.
moved here. So we ended up moving to like East Memphis, and I graduated from Kirby.
Okay, graduated from Kirby. What was the young Astro Jarvo into?
So I used to draw. So I used to really like sketch.
Artist?
Mm-hmm. So I really have like this introspective side of me. So I like to be by myself and like create things. And my first creations were like drawings. And my dad.
What did you draw?
So it's so that you're really getting into it.
Yes.
I've never talked about this before.
I've never heard you mention that you were an artist.
Yes.
Tell me more.
So I used to really like draw like women physiques. And like, because I really like lingerie and stuff and like to design it. So I wanted to really get into that. And I just used to always draw that and cars.
Okay.
And I'm really into cars and like learning the horsepower, makes, brands, having my dream car, all of that.
What was always your dream car?
So when I was little, I always liked the Infinity G37, G35.
Oh, well, you in the right spot, baby,
Yeah,
because we in the big M.
I know.
There's plenty
And
of, what they call them, fin-fins?
Fin-fins, yeah. I'm 385 doing a dash.
Man, Memphis is synonymous with infinities. Okay, now I'm sorry I had interrupted you. You about to say your dad. He saw your drawings and what did he
So
say?
he used to like say, are these hieroglyphics? Like he was like, is this like some Egyptian? He used to always think I was doing like Egyptian like drawings, but they're just those like shapes just came to my mind and I put them on paper. So
yes.
I still have books of them. Maybe I'll reveal it one day, but
Yes, we're going to reveal it at the end of the week.
Okay.
You still have them books?
Yeah, I got some. I
got to check you out, Astro Jarvo.
Yeah.
Now, I keep calling you Astro Jarvo because every time we hook up, we get together, we're always talking about astrology. I don't want to dive into it right now, but were you interested in astrology back as a child?
Not really.
Okay.
It was because at that point I just adapted to all the myths and you know the telltales of astrology, and that I think that makes my story a little bit more unique.
Yes,
because I got to kind of compare both sides.
Okay. So let's go back to early days, Astro Jarvo. What did you do after high school?
I went to MTSU.
Okay.
I went to college, and I was a pre-chemistry major because I always aspired to be a medical doctor. And quickly found out with taking those classes and learning about the profession, I'm not I love the science, but the job itself isn't fit for my personality. So I changed it to nursing.
Okay.
And pre-nursing. And then at that time, my brother got into the nursing program as well. And he was telling me about it. I was like, I don't want to be a nurse either. And I got into it, and I was like, I was really going through like my fitness journey during that point. And that was the meat of it then. And so I was like, I like exercise, but I never thought about it as a career. And my mom's health declined, and she ended up passing away. And I really got into health from there.
You got into it from there. Now, you've had an entire fitness transformation.
Yes.
Walk me through your transformation, Jarvis.
Yeah, so my first interest in fitness was in high school because I always struggled with weight as a child. And I always wanted to, I said, when I grow up, this is not going to be something I'm dealing with. And so my mom had some Tybo tapes, the little 8-minute workout.
Tybo.
Yep, I'm dating myself. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Billy Blank. So I used to
Billy Blank.
I used to do the 8-minute workouts.
Okay.
Every day after school. And I would do 50 push-ups. And that would be my fitness routine. And once I started seeing little results, I was like, okay, once I actually have access to a gym, aka college, I was like, I'm going to maximize. And I was blessed to have a roommate that was into fitness. So he worked out all the time. We didn't work out together, but it's the fact that, that was what we talked about. And I started jogging every day because that was the only way I heard people lose weight. They jogged. I was so intimidated by the weight room. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to embarrass myself and I don't want to hurt myself. So I enrolled into a personal conditioning class and a beginner weightlifting class. And there I developed my first I was handed my first custom fitness routine.
Okay.
And I got into that routine and it made me very, very comfortable. And I kept that routine for 2 years.
2 years.
2
Consistent.
Consistent. And so I got a trainer. And I was talking to him about it. He said, how long have you been on this plan? I said, 2 years. He said, you hadn't changed anything? I said, no. And he was like, Jarvis, you got to change. And I was like, I want it to be different. He was like, what do you want to be different? And I was like, well, I'm jogging, I'm doing pull-ups, I'm doing this. He was like, well, do more pull-ups, jog faster. It was ways you can manipulate it. And so I just learned those two, weightlifting and cardio. I learned to put those together, and then that's when I really started seeing results. And so I moved back to Memphis in 2014. So 2015 to 2016, that's when I made the major shift. I lost I didn't lose so much weight. So I was probably 210 at the heaviest. And then I got to 185.
Okay.
And so when I did that, I learned about the importance of sleep and rest and the other 4 pillars that I end up coming with to create Real Elite Fitness.
Yes. And so, all of your background when you were in school, you were already learning things about the body, things about the makeup, and you incorporated it into your life.
Yes.
So this is a lifestyle for you.
Yeah, I always practice what I preach.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Because if we go to give them your
at Real Elite Fitness Co.
Real Elite Fitness Co. We're going to see you working out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
You'll see me working out and help transforming lives. I've had the privilege of transforming clients losing 60 to 80 to 100 pounds and keeping the weight off. Like I said, it goes back to the 4 pillars that I believe every fitness program should have. You should have the correct movement. You should have proper nutrition. You should have balanced mobility and coordination. And lastly, you should have a recovery program because you have to recover the system and balance all of those other variables out.
Yes. And you know, we're at the end of the year. Are you getting slammed right now with people wanting you to train them because they want, you know, what is it? New Year,
New Year,
you?
new me.
New me.
Yeah, New Year's resolution. Yes, absolutely.
So do you take on all of them? Do you have like a weeding out process?
So
how does that work?
Well, this year I plan on doing things a little differently. So I have the Thrive Tribe podcast.
Yes, you do.
And so I'm really using the Thrive Tribe to be a resource for people because it's only one me. And so my biggest thing, since we're in the age of Aquarius, is to really cultivate community around health and just general knowledge to improve your life and to make progress. And that's my whole ideology of anything. What progress can we make and where are we? And let's start from there.
Yes. And speaking of the Thrive Tribe podcast,
Yes.
so you guys know I have a whole residency at Casa Library for podcast programming, and Jarvis was coming to the workshops. He was into it. We had a one-on-one session. He's like, hey, I'm ready to start a podcast, Thrive Tribe podcast. And that is your community that you've built.
Yes.
And you've already completed season 1.
Yes.
You guys can check him out right now, streaming on all platforms. Check out the YouTube as well. And you focused on those 4 pillars that you mentioned. You've had guests
Yes.
on all, well, not the first episode was more so of an introduction of yourself and why you started the podcast. But then we had guests either, you know, in the fitness realm. What's the young guy that you had on there? Colin.
Yeah,
Our
yes.
YouTube friend.
Yes. Oh, yes. Colin
Yes.
Thread. Yeah.
Yes,
he is
he's
killing
heavy.
it on YouTube.
Yes, he is. So how do you go about choosing your guests for your pod?
So based on going back to the Thrive Tribe, I have the privilege of knowing so many amazing people. And so season 1, I really wanted, the whole point was to get a fitness story told from different perspectives. So everybody's not a trainer, right? So we had a real estate agent, a beauty
Yes.
influencer, you know, another trainer, a YouTuber, a videographer. So and a barber. So we had all these different professions telling their story about how they incorporate fitness and just health and mental health. And that was the whole point of it. And so I thought about these people, you know, I sat with myself and I just meditated on it. And these names came, I thought about interactions I've had with people and how they've moved me. And I was like, that story right there needs to be shared. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so that's how I chose them.
Yes, and we are gearing up for season 2.
Yes,
Tell me
yes.
how season 2 will be different from season 1.
Right. So I learned so much during season 1. And by the way, y'all, Ina is my mentor, my podcast mentor.
Yes.
So that's one of the overlapping parts of our relationship. But so season 2 will be a little different because I want to tell the story from people that I've gained inspiration from. So from my parents to my mentors to my clients that are seniors that changed their life, because that's so inspiring for me to not work out for 30, 40 years and jump back in it and commit to it.
Yes.
You know, that's inspiration. So season 2 is going to focus on that so y'all can really learn a little bit more about me. And see where I get my inspiration from. So.
Yes, and still focusing on those 4 pillars.
Absolutely.
Which are movement,
Nutrition, mobility,
and recovery.
Yeah, there we go. Smooth like butter.
Yes. Okay. Thrive Tribe podcast host Jarvis Hall in the building with me live, Verbally Effective Podcast. Not only are you a podcaster, you also love music. Is that correct?
I love music.
And who's your fave right now?
So my favorite right now, I will always love Summer Walker. So when it comes to R&B, Summer Walker is my homegirl. I love her. She speaks my language. And of course, honorable mention is gonna be Beyonce. You know,
It's gonna be B.
absolutely. Come on,
She can
Queen.
do no wrong.
With R&B, Beyonce can do no wrong.
No wrong. Now, since you first mentioned your girl Summer Walker, I'm gonna throw on a little Summer Walker because I heard that you actually love the song Karma. Is that correct?
That's my song.
That's your song?
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Astro Jarvo with his fave from my girl Summer Walker called Karma. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. We're WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis, raised by sound. Your double E, Ina Esco, on the MIC for a live, verbally effective podcast. You just heard it. The Raised by Sound Fest. It is going down this Saturday, December 7th at Crosstown Concourse. I'm talking about free music, free live music. I got my guest, Jarvo. Look, I want to say Big Jarvo, all the things. Jarvis Hall, the host of the Thrive Tribe podcast. Do you love live music?
I love live music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, we had to incorporate that sizzle before we went to break real quick.
It was Summer Walker.
Oh, Summer Walker. Look, come on, retrograde, Age of Aquarius. Stop playing with my mouth. But, we had a little retrograde action with little technical difficulties because I know you love Summer Walker, Karma.
Yes.
And so I had to throw on that session 32.
Still works.
Still to this day. That 1 minute, 30 seconds, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that guitar and your voice.
Come on now.
All day.
Right.
All day.
All day. Just
okay. We're going to get into some of your favorite music. However, let's talk a bit about outside of your fitness world. Mm-hmm. You do some other things with Chef Philip Dwayne. Tell me about that.
Yes. So
he been popping.
Popping. Did you say? I'm so proud of him. I am his event manager.
Okay.
And so I'm making sure I'm over the setup, the inventory, staffing. And ever since I've started working with him, I've just seen so much progress, like in our systems and its execution, our communication, and just to see him as an entrepreneur, because this is my first time working actually for an entrepreneur and not a corporation, right? Mm-hmm. And
it's different.
It's so different. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, certain things can be handled in a text message versus a formal email, or we don't have to have all of these approvals and all of this before things happen. So it's been so inspiring, and I've been able to meet so many people working with him. So
yes,
it's been crazy.
Because you guys have been booked and busy. I've seen you guys all over the city of Memphis.
All over, yes.
All over. So
St. Jude, Grizzlies,
yes.
AutoZone, all of these.
Look, the Freedom Awards. You guys did the dinner before the event with the Civil Rights Museum.
Yeah.
I said, look at Jarvo, not the little, the big one.
I'm so grateful.
But that goes back into you talking about the age of Aquarius and collaboration, and you're seeing that in motion with this team effort. Yes. Working with Chef Philip Dwayne.
Well, he happens to be an Aquarius.
Is he?
Yes, so I was like, this is so much alignment. This is so much alignment. And I was like, yes. Wow. So, yes, and seeing the teamwork, because most of the people that work with us are all entrepreneurs as well. So it's just so in the fact that we're in the age of Aquarius, so what that is.
Let's just break down. We just going to jump into the astrology portion today. Okay. What is the age of Aquarius, Jarvis?
So in my words, the age of Aquarius is a time where old institutions or old systems are decaying. And this is for an example, the linear hierarchy where you have a boss and they report to this person and that person. That model is decaying, and it's becoming more of cooperation, and really working together as a team and a unit, and really contributing all of our unique gifts to solve unique problems, come up with more progressive solutions. And that's what the age of Aquarius. And if you're hanging on to old identities, old beliefs, old systems, it's just going to really shake up your world, and you'll see that, and it'll come out in different ways.
It's like you're going to be forced to see it.
Absolutely. Like the P. Diddy thing, that was the beginning of it. Cat Williams said
Cat Williams kicked the year off with all of the predictions. And it really shook up the music world, right?
Yeah, the whole entertainment industry.
Because we probably would have never thought that was going on, right?
Exactly.
So that's just one piece.
That's one piece. And now the planet of Pluto has shifted from Capricorn to Aquarius, meaning that Pluto is the planet of transformation. And so the fact that that's happening in Aquarius during the age of Aquarius, the next 20 years are going to be revealing.
So we got 20 years of this.
It's like a whole age that's it squares into one
major revelations.
Yeah.
Even with, Donald Trump getting into office, he's not even inaugurated yet, but we've seen him making major moves that you would have never thought about, even with picking his cabinet. Like, what? Who? How? What? They in what position? Like, but when you think about the people that he's picked, if I think they're qualified or not, it's definitely going to be different, right?
Right. Very different.
It's going to be different.
And that's why I say the whole ideology of American culture
is changing.
It's changing, or we can say decaying, it's becoming decadent, and that's an example of that. And I believe us, saying, hey, we can't just depend on leadership. We just can't put all our eggs in the government. We have to come up with our own systems and form our own communities.
And that is what is going down right now. For the age of Aquarius, what does that really mean for an Aquarius?
So meaning that major things in their life, so their group, people they're around, things that their soul really wants to manifest, like these things have to come out, like their uniqueness has to be shown. If they try to go with the status quo, that's going to really, be very regressive for them. So they'll find themselves in challenges. So I would say for Aquarius, this is the time to really just dial into yourself, seeing what your soul really wants to express, because all the answers lie there.
Wow. And you're a Cancer. I'm a Pisces.
Yes, water.
Water. We get along so well.
Yes.
What does the age of Aquarius mean for a Cancer and a Pisces? Let's start with you first.
Yeah. So for Cancers, it's really about the home. And we've really find our home in people a lot of times. So that goes back to our community and what we, construct as home. And so really, because we are a crab, like that's our symbol is a crab. And the thing about the crab is that when a crab doesn't feel safe, the shell thickens. But when the crab feels safe, the shell thins out. And so with Cancers, we have to learn to just let go and understand that safety is within ourselves and our intuition and knowing, and not in a thing or anything else.
Have you been letting go, Jarvis?
I've been forced to let go. You know what I mean? Because I always tell my clients this, your new life is going to cost you your old ones. And new beginnings look like messy endings.
Okay.
And that's always keep me in reality when I'm seeing things being transformed. And yeah, I've been conscious on expanding my capacity as a person. So yes, I've been forced to let go. I'm like, this is the life I want to lead. These are the decisions I'm going to make.
Yeah, you have been very intentional since we've met. So you've been, getting everything in order, ordering those steps,
yes. Aligning the steps, right?
Aligning.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So tell me about the age of Aquarius for a Pisces like me.
Yes, Pisces. So it's two fish, one's up, one's down.
Oh, why are we going different ways?
Yeah. And for Pisces, this is a time to really use your guidance for community. Y'all are the most spiritual or most reverent sign. So it's so important for a Pisces to come to those calm oceanic waters and guide and nurture that way, because that's where you'll get stability. Otherwise, if you focus too much on yourself, it's gonna be like, am I this, am I that, and you get to overthinking, and it's like,
that's me.
And it's like, let's just breathe and say, hey, we have this, we know this, you know it, and just really getting into that and feeding other people and serving other people with your gifts.
And you know what, I found that's where I thrive, when I help other people with their gifts, and it helps what I want to do along the way. It all comes out, right?
Yes.
So I feel that reading you just gave me. And look, everybody that's listening to WYXR right now, they're like, is Jarvis going to tell me about a Virgo in the age of Aquarius? Is Jarvis going to tell me about a Leo? No, we're not going to go over all the signs. However,
oh man,
we are going to talk about how the age of Aquarius and astrology intersects with your lifestyle, right? Because I know they go hand in hand. And before we jump into that, Jarvis, tell us, how did you get into astrology originally?
So I originally got into it because it was about from Pisces, Aries, and like Gemini. Like it was like 3 signs I didn't know about. Like I heard about other signs, but I didn't really know about those signs. So I was just like, I need to start, and I started with Pisces, and that's because that's the sign I knew least about when I first got it.
It encompasses everything.
I know,
right?
that's what and so I was like, let me start there. And so the best way to learn, I had a Virgo. Well, I have a Virgo best friend, and Pisces opposite sign is Virgo. So the duality helped me, really learn that side, learn the side about Pisces. So like the overthinking, that's the opposite of Virgo's overanalyzing. And so it just shows up in different ways because you're dealing with the earth element and you're dealing with a water element. And so then I started learning about elements, right? And I was like, okay, what's a water sign? What's an earth sign? What's an air sign? What's a fire sign? And once I started getting into that, I then got into modality. So what's a fixed sign? What's a mutable sign? What's a cardinal sign?
You got deep into it.
I got deep into it because it just, all these dichotomies start happening and I had to make sense of it. And I was like, how can I digest this? And I started there, and it started helping me with my fitness clients, because I would start looking at all their birthdays and I'm like, oh, I train a lot of Libras, or I train a lot of Leos. Like, what does this mean? Then every session I would be intentional about understanding their personality pattern based on the workouts we were doing. And I was like, I'm starting to make connections on Aries are really rushing me. Like, how much are y'all ready for the next thing? You ready for the next thing? And I'm like, hold up.
Let's conquer this first.
Right. And so it started there.
Okay.
Because I had some, I did the research and then I had the experimentation part with the fitness. And so I started to draw more conclusions from there.
So, I mean, and pretty much like when you assess your clients and their signs with your business, you're pretty much spot on all the time, huh?
Yeah, because I've had enough data, right? I've had enough feedback. I've had enough conversations. I've done enough research to draw conclusions. And let me clarify this. These aren't strict conclusions. I'm saying, hey, this person is this sign, they're like this. No, this is a general outlook or a scope of the limitations or the possibilities with this person. And then I just go from there. And because it's way more than your sun sign that determines your being and your complete personality. So yeah, it's just
a sun sign too. What's my sun sign?
Pisces. The sun was in Pisces when you were born.
Gotcha.
And then the moon was in a sign when you were born. Every planet was like a screenshot that happened of the zodiac sign when you were born.
So do you know all about the birth charts and all the things?
So so I'm learning more about houses and because it really astrology really gets into the stars and degrees and aspects and transits and all of these things. Like that's very, very, that's another layer of deepness. Right now I'm more concentrated on the planet themselves, the relationships, that I can look at your natal chart and kind of make some observations and conclusions based on the positioning of
we
your
need
charts.
to look at my natal chart.
We do, and we should. Yeah, we're gonna do that. But like for me, for an example, I have a Cancer rising, a Cancer sun, and a Capricorn moon. So meaning that my overall personality is a Cancer. Rising means, or your ascendant, meaning that when I come off the people, I come off as a Cancer.
You do.
And then
my husband, my son, both Cancers. Yes. Very nurturing, very loving, very loyal people. Yeah.
And my moon is in Capricorn.
What does that mean?
So that means I can be very emotionally reserved. And it's like how I look at my emotions or see myself. And how I feel like when I'm alone. Like I process my emotions like a Capricorn, which can be reserved and kind of in my head, because Cancers, we have a habit of outwardly expressing our emotions. And sometimes, like in certain cases, my Capricorn moon is like, we need to process this, and we need to come to ourselves and think about this, and then we can express.
That's that crab shell hardening up a bit.
Come on now.
Right,
yes.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about, with the age of Aquarius, that's defined by several characteristics, as you mentioned. How do you see these characteristics manifesting in health and fitness trends?
Yes, so now like fitness has really, and it has been on the rise, I'll say, since 2020. Health has now become a form of, like, a normal form of wealth. Like usually health was, in my opinion, was looked at more leisurely. Like people would look at, I'm working out to improve my physique or for leisure purposes. But now, especially since the age of Aquarius, the whole community behind fitness, and it's not, I'm just doing this to get in shape. It's like, hey, we're doing this to live in a healthier world. And I want healthy people around me, because it really, the way you move your body translate into your mindset, because you have to stay disciplined to stay with a fitness journey. And when you have community support, when you have different perspectives of fitness, it just makes it better. And the age of Aquarius is really cultivating and really fostering that environment so that we can come together, we can come up with better solutions and ultimately make progress, because progress is the unfolding of the perfect idea of you. So the more progress you make, the closer you are to the perfect idea of who you are. And so that gives you so much grace, yet so much accountability for making progress and saying, hey, how much movement have I done? How much movement can I do? People like, I haven't worked out in 3 years. Okay, you can start. You have a dog. You can walk your dog for 30 minutes a day.
That's exercise.
That's movement, right?
Right.
And then, well, I don't know what to eat. Well, if you're eating 5 times a day, eat 4 or 3 times a day, right? So you can make progress there. And the whole point of the 4 pillars of the movement, nutrition, mobility, and recovery is to see where your baseline is to make areas of progress.
Wow, it's all about progress.
That's what it's about.
Wow.
Yeah, daily progress.
Okay, so let's get into this. Now, you've talked about how, you structure your routine with fitness, incorporating, what you know about astrology with your clients as well. Now, how can people, I don't know if you've mentioned moon cycles yet, because that's a big deal. How can people use the moon's phases to optimize their workout routines or achieve balance in their lives?
Yes. So the biggest thing is to remember that moon cycles happen about every 2 weeks. So
every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks, yes.
The moon is moving.
Yeah, it moves in each zodiac sign every 2.5 days. So it's a fast moving, planet, right? As opposed to 30 to 31 days with the sun.
Okay.
And so with the moon, like a new moon. So anytime there's a new moon, that is the time to set intentions to manifest. So people say, I want to get in shape. I want to do this, or whatever your goals are, set it around a new moon. Because you'll be able to get that fresh energy, and you'll just have another objective for that moon cycles. In ancient days, they say many moons ago. They channeled time and did things based off the moon cycle. And so you want to get into that, and then during a full moon, you want to be able to reflect and say, hey, I set these intentions on this new moon. What has come out since then? Because the full moon is the highlighter. That's when the lights come on and the spotlight comes out and say, what are these things? People say, people act crazy during the full moon.
Because people seem to freak out.
Yeah, it's a high energy. Yeah. Okay. And when the moon comes out, it affects the waves, and it just affects a lot of things. So I would say be on the lookout. Our next full moon, it'll be...
I was about to ask, when is the
December
next full moon?
15th, I believe. And so since we are in Sagittarius, there'll be a Gemini full moon. So the opposite sign always takes over the full moon cycle.
A Gemini. Is it like two people?
Two people, the twins, yeah.
The twins.
So duality, right?
Duality.
So we all have duality to our personalities. You know, we have night and day. And the goal with this full moon is to reflect on where are you showing up in. Are you showing up in extremes or are you balancing your duality?
Wow. I don't, Geminis. I can't think of someone that's close to me that's a Gemini. Do you have someone close to you that's a Gemini?
Yeah. I work with a lot. Well, I don't necessarily work directly with Geminis, but I know a lot about Geminis.
What's your favorite sign? Pisces, maybe.
It depends on for what. Ooh. You know what I mean? I think that's where because it's contextual based. So for just the primary personality, I really, really, really enjoy like Libras and Sagittarius.
Shelby's a Libra.
Yeah.
You was happy when she said I'm a Libra.
Yeah, because I think Libras can be the most chill out of the zodiac. You know, I know a lot of chill Libras, and I like that energy because I'm a Cancer, so chill energy is really comfortable for me.
Yes.
And then Sagittarius just know how to go on an adventure and have fun. And spontaneity is a part of a Cancer's moodiness. So we can be moody and being spontaneous.
Very moody.
We can be moody. We can be. That moon is moving.
I don't think I've seen you moody though.
Probably not because we've been working a lot, and I don't translate. That Capricorn moon ain't gonna have that. No, this is time to work. We check them emotions at the door, baby.
But I've seen moody at the house. My son and my husband have the same birthday.
Wow.
July 16th.
Ooh, July Cancers.
16th.
Ooh, see, I'm June 28th. The July Cancers are a little bit more they're a little bit more aggressive.
Yes, they are.
Than June Cancers. I can my brother's a July Cancer.
Is he?
Yeah, so I can see that.
Yes, they come off so hard, but y'all a little teddy bear inside. Come on now, stop. I know you. Okay. Now, this one I want to know, Jarvis. Like, you know, some people are very skeptical about astrology. How would you explain, you know, its practical relevance to wellness and self-care?
Yes. So we all believe that the sun rules the day and the moon comes out at night. So that's
a fact.
Those are facts, and those are planets. Well, in astrology, they are both considered planets, and the moon affects the tides in the ocean, you know, and the waves and masses of water. The moon cycle does, and we're made of 70% of water. And so if I say, well, if it's affecting a large body of water, it may be affecting a smaller body of water inside of
70%.
We 70%,
yes.
You know. And so we all have birthdays. So we all believe, hey, I was born in this month. And most people say, I'm this sign. I never really get pushback from, oh, I was born here. Oh, well, I'm not a Cancer. I've never heard that. And so a lot of times people accept certain parts of it. And so I like to meet people where they are and then make analogies or make examples from there.
Yes. Now, you know, I told you long ago, as we were structuring the Thrive Tribe podcast, as we talked more, I'm like, Jarvis, now, you know, you're going to have to do an astrology podcast. Like, I don't know anyone, and I know they're out there, but none that I'm tuning into. Yeah, I think people could really, you know, tap in to what you're saying.
Yes,
with this
I would love
astrology. So is that next on the horizon? You think?
No, it's definitely in the works. So, like, you know, most definitely, because this is something I've done extensive research on, and it's, you know, at this point, it's just coming up with the system and formatting it, you know, and I it's all there. Like, even when the Thrive Tribe, we started recording, I was like, I did way more preparation for this than I thought I did, you know? And, but like Mark Zuckerberg says, the vision gets clear as you work on it. And I had been working on it, and I was like, this is clear to me. So, yeah. So
the next pod will be, not saying it's going to be easier, but you have like a foundation right now.
Yes.
And I think that would be great. Yes. Like we ready for season 2 of the Thrive Tribe podcast.
Come on now.
But I want to see this astrology pod come to life.
Yes.
Do you know anyone else in your circle that's into astrology?
Yeah. Oh, so my friends. So I have a group of friends called the board. We call
The board.
Yeah, the board. So we call it the
Okay.
executive board, right?
Okay.
And so we're a board of readers, so certified. And so
Certified readers on
come
y'all.
on now,
Okay.
baby, double doctorial.
And
But,
y'all dipping into y'all astrology
yes,
bag.
for sure. So my best
Wow.
friend D'Angelo and Taryn, like we are definitely the board, and they're a Virgo and a Libra, and it's a Cancer. So yeah, we are all in it. Like we was just talking the other day. We was like, you know what? We're not freaking out with this retrograde because we done been through so many retrogrades together. And we understand, this isn't a time to react. This is a time to really center yourself. And like, I was at the meeting on Monday with Chef, and they was like, why are people messing up on communication? And this is December. This is not the time for that. And I'm like, baby, it's a retrograde. Yeah. Like, so it's just accepting certain things and helping you just basically build a picture, a clear picture of what's going on in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like sometimes that you may be psychic, or that's two different things?
Well, I think intuition. So depending on how I think a lot of these words or terms are like based on perspective, so I think a lot of people say, well, I had a vision, or I had a premonition, or however, or some people say my intuition was really speaking to me, so depending on how it comes to you, whatever it is, I believe that there's way more things going on that we can't see that we can see,
Okay. We got Jarvis Hall in the building, live verbally effective podcast right here on WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis. Now, we're going to jump into some word association.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a word or two, and you tell me what you associate, this word or two with. Okay? So, first one will be tribal energy.
Tribal energy. Yeah, so when I think of tribal energy, I think of ancestors and I think of community. And I just think of culture too. With tribal community, like one thing I love about tribal tattoos is that they all mean something, and a tribe, that's a Thrive Tribe, that comes to that. And it's a like mind of, progressive individuals that feel safe, seen, and celebrated, right? And so that is all like familiar, like very family oriented. That's what I think of a tribe.
Okay. Next one for word association. P. Diddy.
Baby oil.
Baby oil.
That's the first thing I can think about now. I'm like, I cannot think of P. Diddy and not think of baby oil. This.
What is his sign?
A Scorpio.
Oh, that tracks. That tracks. That tracks. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, first thing was baby oil. Summer Walker.
Oh, great music, a vibe. Need to do a concert. Like, tell us our mind. Yes.
Aliens.
E.T.
E.T. phone home here. Okay, so we talked a lot about the water. They had the whole little hearing, and they said that the aliens were coming out the water. Do you believe that? Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Age of Aquarius, so a lot of stuff gonna be revealed, good, bad, or indifferent.
Does that scare you? Not at all.
No, the truth is informative, not scary, and I think, the more, because I'm very I'm very spiritually grounded, and I always believe there's other things happening beyond my reasoning and beyond my control, and that there's also other energy bigger than me that can protect me. So that's how I feel,
Now, other than shock, if an alien, some foreign something walked up in here right now, other than shock, how do you think your first communication with it would be?
I'm gonna get grounded. I'm gonna get grounded because I have to understand that somebody got to speak through me, and it can't be me. because I've never seen this before. So I gotta, I gotta pray about this.
I'm processing this.
I gotta pray. That's all I gotta do. I gotta process because this is
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, one more word association. Memphis.
Oh, the realest city ever.
Yes.
Beautiful people. Yes, one thing I love about Memphis, well, that's a lot of things because I actually used to be a tour guide here in Memphis.
So you know a lot about Memphis.
I know so much about from the Black perspective as well.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so we are the 20th largest city in the nation. And Memphis is the most like the blackest city in the South.
Yes, I think we're about 80%.
Yeah.
We kind of range between 70 and 80.
So, and that's what I love. It's so much culture here, just so many gems. And that's another reason why the Thrive Tribe exists is like the representation. Like, yeah. So I always look Memphis, the most
all
beautiful.
Day, all day.
All day. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I think of Memphis. Beautiful and established. That's what it means.
Yes, because you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're thriving.
Thriving
right here in Memphis.
I've tried to leave and opportunities just sucked me right back in. I was like, wow. Being recruited, I have future projects that we'll definitely discuss in the future about being recruited for certain things.
Yes, because it's real exclusive info right now.
Yeah.
But if you could take a look into your crystal ball, Jarvis, right here live on the Verbally Effective podcast, what is your outlook for 2025 in your world with the Thrive Tribe podcast, with how you incorporate astrology into your methods as well, and just being a human in 2025? What's your outlook right now?
So really serving my community, that's the biggest thing. So I really want to cultivate events. So that's going to really give the physical space. So that's going to be the thing. So I work with a chef, so I am around food and doing events all the time. And the positioning is just so right, And this is, I am in a great position to host several events and to really cultivate a community where all these like-minded things come in: fitness, health, just business and entrepreneurship and creatives. Like that's a big space. And a lot of these people are in different outlets in Memphis want to learn more about fitness, and really in a safe, seen, and celebrated way, and not I need to do this and I need to feel bad about it. It's like, no, I really need progressive solutions that's going to help me. And that's my whole approach. Like when I deal with clients, when I talk to clients, they're like, I've never had an experience like this with a trainer. I've never felt this comfortable. And I was like, well, I've been through a personal transformation. I understand where you are and where you would like to go. And I'm here to help guide you through that, And it's not a fitness goal, it's a fitness journey. I'm still on my fitness journey, And that's what my goal is for 2025, is to really create everything that serves other people and help them really navigate different challenges in their life so they can make progress. And I have noblesse oblige tatted on my body, and that's a French term for the privileged duty to serve the underprivileged. And I have been so privileged in my life, and it's my privilege, my duty to serve those who didn't have this opportunity. And so I wholeheartedly believe that, and it's just slowly manifesting every day. And I'm like surprising myself, like the whole podcast, meeting you, like all of this was just, I couldn't have even thought of this. There's no way I could have thought all of this, but it's all working and it's all happening.
It's all working.
Here in the now.
In the now. I'm so glad I've met you, Jarvis. You have definitely been a blessing in my life. And I love working with you. I love hanging out with you. You old counsel you. And for those out there with the Verbally Effective podcast that are interested in joining your Thrive Tribe fitness community and listening to the Thrive Tribe podcast, let the people know how they can get in touch with you.
They can get in contact with me at Real Elite Fitness Co. on Instagram, and on Instagram, the Thrive Tribe Pod. Also, on all streaming platforms, you can find Thrive Tribe Podcast with Jarvis Hall, and on YouTube, Thrive Tribe Podcast with Jarvis Hall as well. So be on the lookout for announcements for events and different ways and different things that I'm going to kick off to cultivate this community and help guide you in this new year.
I think somebody may inbox you and want you to give them a reading.
Okay,
a certified reading.
Come on now, let's do that too. We can. I'm like, look, do you know what time you was born?
You know what? I think I may have you here monthly.
Okay.
So we can do some more things with this
I'm
astrology.
here for it.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I have enjoyed our conversation today, Jarvis Hall. You know how I feel about you. I wish you nothing but the best. Always stay intentional. Anything you need from me, I am here. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm
so this is,
grateful.
we talked about this. This is only part one of our interview for Verbally Effective, because 2025, you got a lot of exclusive news to drop.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll be back for part 2, but I appreciate you so much for joining me today on the Verbally Effective podcast. Any last words for the audience?
I want to say, please just be mindful, be intentional, and really just get into what your soul wants to do, because that's going to always take you the furthest. No matter, life is going to happen, life is going to be intense, life is going to be hard, but if you can really dial in and say, this is what my soul wants to express, just do that, and you will be good.
Just do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jarvis Hall, once again for joining me today on the Verbally Effective podcast. Your double E, Ina Esco, signing off on this amazing live pod right here on WYXR to one of Jarvis' favorite artists, Beyonce. I haven't heard this one in a minute. Me, Myself, and I.